Choosing Java versus Python on Google App Engine. Currently Google App Engine supports both Python and Java. Java support is less mature. However, Java seems to have a longer list of libraries and especially support for Java bytecode regardless of the languages used to write that code. Which language will give better performance and more power? Please advise. Thank you. Edit. This URL. Edit. By power I mean better expandability and inclusion of available libraries outside the framework. Python allows only pure Python libraries, though.
I'm biased, being a Python expert but pretty rusty in Java, but I think the Python runtime of GAE is currently more advanced and better developed than the Java runtime. The former has had one extra year to develop and mature, after all. How things will proceed going forward is of course hard to predict. Demand is probably stronger on the Java side, especially since it's not just about Java, but other languages perched on top of the JVM too, so it's the way to run for example PHP or Ruby code on App Engine. The Python App Engine team however does have the advantage of having on board Guido van Rossum, the inventor of Python and an amazingly strong engineer. In terms of flexibility, the Java engine, as already mentioned, does offer the possibility of running JVM bytecode made by different languages, not just Java. If you're in a multi-language shop, that's a pretty large positive. Vice versa, if you load JavaScript but must execute some code in the user's browser, Java's GWT, generating the JavaScript for you from your Java level coding, is far richer and more advanced than Python side alternatives. In practice, if you choose Python, you'll be writing some JS yourself for this purpose, while if you choose Java, GWT is a usable alternative if you loathe writing JS. In terms of libraries, it's pretty much a wash. The JVM is restricted enough, no threads, no custom class loaders, no GNI, no relational DB, to hamper the simple reuse of existing Java libraries as much, or more, than existing Python libraries are similarly hampered by the similar restrictions on the Python runtime. In terms of performance, I think it's a wash, though you should benchmark on tasks of your own. Don't rely on the performance of highly optimized JIT-based JVM implementations discounting their large startup times and memory footprints, because the App Engine environment is very different. Startup costs will be paid often, as instances of your app are started, stopped, moved to different hosts, etc., all transparently to you. Such events are typically much cheaper with Python runtime environments than with JVMs. The Sparth/XSLT situation, to be euphemistic, is not exactly perfect on either side, though I think it may be a tad less bad in the JVM, where, apparently, substantial subsets of Saxon can be made to run, with some care. I think it's worth opening issues on the AppEngine issues page with Sparth and XSLT in their titles. Right now there are only issues asking for specific libraries, and that's myopic. I don't really care how a good Sparth/XSLT is implemented, for Python and or for Java, as long as I get to use it. Specific libraries may ease migration of existing code, but that's less important than being able to perform such tasks as rapidly apply XSLT transformation in some way. I know I'd start such an issue if well phrased, especially in a language-independent way. Last but not least, remember that you can have different versions of your app, using the same data store, some of which are implemented with the Python runtime, some with the Java runtime, and you can access versions that differ from the default/active one with explicit URLs. So you could have both Python and Java code, in different versions of your app, use and modify the same data store, granting you even more flexibility, though only one will have the nice URL such as foobar.hubspot.com, which is probably important only for access by interactive users on browsers, I imagine.
Watch this app for changes in Python and Java performance. This URL, edit, apologies, link is broken now. But following para still applied when I saw it running last. Currently, Python and using the low-level API in Java are faster than JDU on Java, for this simple test. At least if the underlying engine changes, that app should reflect performance changes.
Based on experience with running these VMS on other platforms, I'd say that you'll probably get more raw performance out of Java than Python. Don't underestimate Python's selling points. However, the Python language is much more productive in terms of lines of code. The general agreement is that Python requires a third of the code of an equivalent Java program, while remaining as or more readable. This benefit is multiplied by the ability to run code immediately without an explicit compile step. With regards to available libraries, you'll find that much of the extensive Python runtime library works out of the box, as does Java's. The popular Django web framework, this URL, is also supported on Appengine. With regards to power, it's difficult to know what you mean, but Python is used in many different domains, especially the web. YouTube is written in Python, as is SourceForge, as of last week.
June 2013. This video is a very good answer by a Google engineer. This URL, TLDR, is: pick the language that you and your team is most productive with. If you want to build something for production, Java or Python, not Go. If you have a big team and a complex code base, Java, because of static code analysis and refactoring. Small teams that iterate quickly, Python, although Java is also okay.
If you want to see more resources, subscribe.